Welcome back to Loadout Lounge. My name is Seth Nichols. Today we're looking at an update of my EDC knife. For a while now, I have been carrying the Kaiser Baby fixed blade in a pocket carry kind of setup. I like this knife, don't get me wrong. It is a slicer though. It's a very thin knife. But I've always wanted this other knife. I've had it in my Amazon shopping cart for ever since it came out in this version of steel or this material. So it is the Esee 3. So this knife, as soon as I opened it up out of the box, it just fit in my hand. It is form fit very well, with it, the belly of it coming out a little bit thicker. It fits in the palm of my hand. I know those of you that have Esee and maybe have the Esee 3, you know what I'm talking about. These knives are awesome. The one thing I really like about Esee is the fact that if you break it, you mess it up, you reach out to them, they have a no questions asked policy, and they'll get you a new knife. That is amazing. That speaks volumes on a company that they understand their knives are to be beaten. Their knives, they can take abuse. Their knives are tough. Is there any other company? Put in the comments below if there is another company that has a no questions asked replacement policy. There are some things that, I don't want to say some things. There is one thing that I would love to find. I've been doing research, but I've not been able to find, and it is different handle scales. So this Esee 3 is made in the S35VN steel. Now, normally Esee has a coating that comes on it because it's a high carbon steel, and they put that coating on it to prevent it from rusting as much. With the Esee 3 and the S35VN, you don't have to worry about it rusting as easily. Now, knives, if I was to leave this out in the rain, more than likely at some point it's going to rust. If you abuse a knife, it's not going to stay nice for long. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to abuse this knife. I will use this knife. I've already used it to baton through some wood to try it out. I wore this knife whenever we went to the Primitive Cabin adventure video. I wore this as my camp knife, and I used it to make some kindling, make some feathering on the kindling that I have, some sticks, and made it easy to light a fire. There's not really anything negative I could say that, as far as usefulness or as far as ergonomics. It's got jimping right on the end. It's got a finger tool right here at the front to where you can really choke up on the blade. I may end up having to make my own handle scales because that is the only thing that I'd like to change. Black is fine for now, but eventually I'd like to find some handle scales. And I've looked on Etsy, I've looked online just searching handle scales for the Esee 3. I've not really found anything. So I made my own handle scales for this Tops knife. This is the Cut 4.0, and I made my own scales for it. And I may have to do that again for the Esee 3, but I enjoyed making the scales. I don't have time. That's the hardest thing, is to have time. So I would love if y'all knew of anybody making handle scales for the Esee 3 similar to this. It doesn't have to be the exact colors or anything like that, but just something other than black. Let me know. So the way I carry this is in my front pocket with two Ulti-Clips. These are the Ulti-Clip 3.3s. I had to do some slight Dremel work right there to make it to where the ulti-clip would fit and be able to put the screws in to hold ulti-clip to the sheath. Minor Dremel work, you could use probably the knife itself, which I did use to cut some of that away, but the Dremel just made it a lot more precise and a little bit smoother. And I just came back along with the knife to scrape off the burnings, I guess you could call them. But whenever you try to cut plastic or polymer or anything like that, it just kind of starts melting and causes a crust, and you can rake that off with the knife. But the ulti-clip 3.3 on either side, and I will show you it in the pocket. But when I have it in the pocket, it doesn't stick out too far. The handle sticks out of my pocket, but the sheath and the blade are in my pocket. And right now, with it being winter, nobody sees the knife at all. I could tuck it in my shirt and it's good to go. It's, I want to say, the perfect EDC knife. I've not found a knife that I've been as excited about as the SE3. They're not a sponsor either. I like good stuff. It is a good knife. It is fairly expensive. $135 for the knife. If you compare this knife to the Kaiser Baby, the blade is about the same length. Overall, maybe a ½ inch in length is the difference. The metal thickness in the handle is where it kind of thickens out on the SE3 compared to the Kaiser Baby. The SE3 cuts down kind of abruptly once you get closer to the end of the blade, whereas the Kaiser Baby is just, it gets thin quick toward the middle, and it's a slicer. This is a chopper, if I was to say anything. It is, you could chop away with this at wood and not worry about it. I'm almost a little nervous to do anything chop wise, which I have with this, but it just kind of makes me a little nervous with the Kaiser Baby that this blade toward the tip might chip or break off just because it's a little bit thinner. Esee, and I think maybe it's the fact that there is the warranty, the no questions asked warranty with the SE3. Maybe that's why I'm not as scared to, or as nervous to just beat the fire out of this knife and use it as a tool. Now, they're all tools, but I don't want to just break all my tools, because then I don't have any tools left. Now let's look at this compared to the tops. Now, I did make my own handle scales, and it is quite a bit thicker than the SE3 scales, but the knife, ooh man. The top's metal, overall metal, is just thicker all over the board. In the handle, down here inside the handle, it's thicker. Up here, it's just combat utility tool. This is definitely that. SE3, it's an EDC knife to me. It's something that I will every day carry until I find something different, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to. If you're looking for an EDC knife that you are not worried about messing up or scarring, breaking, whatever, I can't recommend Esee more than I already do. Just the warranty itself on it kind of sold me. You break it, they want it, they send you a new one. Easy. Point blank, period. Simple. It's what I like when it comes to companies that make any product, is simplicity. If you have any suggestions on any knife, could be a folder, could be a fixed blade. I've been on a real big fixed blade kick for the past 1.5 to 2 years, to where I want to EDC a fixed blade. And I know there's going to be people that say, well, pocket carry is awesome, or pocket knives are awesome, folding knives are just as fun, or we're on the other side of the spectrum, folding knives are not reliable, you can't open them if you need them, whatever it may be. I've had them all. Right now, my preference is just a fixed blade. I don't have anything against folders, but I just like my fixed blade. Get over it. So, but if you have any other suggestions, make sure you put it in the comments below, or you go on our Facebook group, EDC Loadout Lounge. Go on there, join our group, and you can post what you want to talk about. That's today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.